So, yep, I'm Jong and like was mentioned, I work with King.com. Just to give you a bit of background on King before we get started, for those of you who may not know who we are. We are the global leader in casual social games across web, social, and mobile. We are also currently the second largest games developer on Facebook, behind a company you might know, Zynga. On the web, we've got 150 games, and we have 12 million monthly active players globally. That's on King.com. On social, we have 52 million monthly active players globally, of which 11 million play every single day. And mobile, we are getting geared up to launch a Bubble Witch Saga on iOS. That should be happening imminently. So, since we all work in an interactive industry, the purpose of this panel is really to sort of be interactive. We love for all of you to take this time to ask our women gamers, panelists here, any questions that you might have, pick their brains. And so with that, I thought it might be great to allow them to introduce themselves. Maybe they can give, you can give your name, how old you are, how many hours a day you play games, what your favorite game of all time is, and maybe what you're playing right now, just to give some context for our audience.
Okay. Am I starting? Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Kay Workman, and I will be 50 this year. Very scary. And I am a gamer. I play on Android, mobile, PC, and console platforms with my family. Right now, my big game is Bubble Safari. So that's what I'm playing. And I do play, you know, Facebook, Zynga, that kind of thing. Oh, okay. And you didn't miss much. But anyway, so I do play daily, and Facebook and Zynga is probably the two places that I play the most.
Hi, my name is Eva Patterson. I will be 42 this year. I am a stay-at-home mom with two boys, 11 and 14. We are a big gaming household. We have all the consoles. I spend most of my time on PC, downloadable casual games, and some iPhone apps that I like to play.
My name's Kimberly. I'm 27. I own my own business, and I play predominantly on Facebook games.
I'm Rachel Johnston. I'm 40. I am a stay-at-home mom. I'm about to finish my master's in education. I have 3 kids, 14, 10, and 2. I play predominantly PC. I do play downloadable. We play a little bit of Wii at home. Play a lot of King on Facebook, and I also do play some of the Zynga games.
I'm Mickey Coleman, and I am a game tester. We have 7 children altogether, 3 still left at home, and I play on mobile devices. I don't want anything that makes me stationary. I want to be able to go and go and go.
I'm Linda Gaden. I normally go by Cry. There goes my cane. I have been privileged to be able to come here and speak to you guys now for 5 years in a row. With that, it has developed more interest in me in speaking with some of you, in wanting to try new things. So I do now play over very different applications, mobiles, on phone, iPad, iTouch, etc. And I'm just really glad to be here.
Awesome. I've been attending Casual Connect probably since like 2005. You know, even when we were all standing up here talking about try before you buy downloadable games, and I've seen the industry being interrupted now with, you know, is Facebook a viable platform for gaming, and having all those conversations several years ago, and it seems like now the conversations seem to be around mobile. So a lot of you mentioned, you know, that you guys play on mobile. What is it about mobile that sort of drives a lot of the playing that you guys are doing aside from, you know, the traditional ways that you guys are playing on your computers or whatnot?
She better go first because she's Miss Mobile over here.
I like it basically because I can take it with me, and most of my games that I enjoy doing are 5 minutes or less. So if I'm stuck before an appointment or, you know, in traffic, someone else is driving and I can, you know, play, then I play on any mobile device I can get my hands on.
I will say I've taken the phone out of her hands while she was driving because she wanted to play a dice game. No.
I'm guilty.
But yeah, and that's the whole thing I think with being mobile is that we're not connected to a cord at home. We don't have to be on a cable anymore. We can get the same speed and it's still getting faster so that we're getting the same experience from our computers that we are on our mobile devices. And I think that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And just out of curiosity, Mickey, what mobile devices do you currently play games on?
Anything Apple.
She owns iTouch, iPhone,
The
the
iPad.
iPad, laptops. We have multiple laptops and desktop computers, as well as game consoles.
Do we have any Android
Yeah.
gamers in the panel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love Android. Apple's bad, Android's good. No, but you know, it's one thing though, there isn't, well now, all of a sudden there seems to be more games that work really well on Android, but it took me a long time to be convinced to play on Android because it seemed like there was only 1 or 2 games that really were well suited for that platform, and it wasn't any fun just playing 1 or 2 games, but now we're doing the flying game, you know, where you get to steer with your phone, and that is awesome. So as the games get better, I find I spend more time playing on it, so.
So, you know, I know, Mickey, you mentioned that, you know, you do most, if not all of your gaming on mobile. For the other panelists, how do you split your time between mobile and sort of your desktop or, you know, Facebook or the downloadable PC?
I'd say right now about 65% of my gaming is on mobile. It's
And
definitely
what
switched.
device would that be?
Mainly my Kindle Fire, actually.
Okay. Interesting.
But as far as splitting time, I think it's sort of like if you're at home, you play on a PC. When you're driving, it's mobile, you know. So you're always playing, it's just you grab the device that works where you're at, so.
Got it. I think, you know, since I promised that this would be interactive, why don't we open up to the audience? You guys can ask them any questions you want that isn't too personal in nature. I think we got a couple hands. I don't know, is there a mic that gets passed? Oh, you're meant to stand up here and queue up, I guess.
Or just yell really loud.
Oh, it's not on. Or I can walk over to you with my microphone because I'm mobile.
We are mobile nowadays.
Check
Yes,
1,
we
2.
are.
This one
Okay.
is on.
You want to hold on to your mic? No. Okay. First of all, ladies, thank you for being with us. I'm Thomas Piren, and I worked as a lead designer, game director, creative director for Microsoft EA. You name it, I work for them. I'm working with Microsoft right now. And a lot of the talks we've had here lately has been about you doing social games, you must have adverts in your game. Over half of your money must come from them. Now, granted, I've been working in industry for 17 years. For me, if I see an ad, the game is coming out of my device. But I fully realize I'm a hardcore gamer. I'm not my target audience. So what's your tolerance level to the advertisement? None at all? Would you like them to disappear? Are you okay with, because we've been talked a lot about you have to put a brand marketing right in front of the player like a big Apple ad. So we as game makers get money so we can make more games. And you, I don't know, probably get informed about the latest trends on the clothing and the consumer products. So what's your tolerance level really? Because female gamers are a very large portion of our target audience. Does your game come out if you see ads on it, or what can you take?
The ads don't bother me. The ads that bother me are the ones that cover the entire screen. Those are the games that I'll never play. If you have a little ad in the corner, or on those ones like on Facebook, they have ads that change all the time. Those ones I'll actually click on and go to, so those ones are, to me, the most friendly.
And what's very cool, I don't know who came up with this, but they should be blessed. The ones that have you go watch a little 10-second advertisement in exchange for getting something for your game,
Yes.
brilliant.
2 thumbs up. That is awesome. Because you do watch, I watch the ad because I know, I mean, what else am I going to do? I'm waiting, but I'm going to get the free energy. It's something I definitely have to continue playing the game, so it's a nice trade-off. I watch the ad, and I've learned some things. I've gone and clicked further. So those are absolutely, for me, the best ones because they don't interrupt my game time. I know all about it when it's coming. I agree to it, and then I actually sit and watch it. So.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to do like a mic handoff again. Oh, you got next question. Oh, you're the mic handoff guy. All right. I think we got a question back there.
Check 1, 2.
Yeah, thanks for that comment. I'm with Ad Colony. We actually invented that process where you watch a video to receive virtual currency. So thank you. I literally just walked in for like 5 minutes. I have a meeting in another 5 minutes, but I'm the president and founder of Ad Colony. But I have a question for you. How can we improve that? What's your tolerance for the length of the video? We've run up to 60-second commercials for Wheaties, for example, in exchange for virtual currency. We've run as short as about 10 seconds. What's your tolerance level, and what can we do to kind of improve that experience? This is an Ad Colony question.
If you're going to pay me more, I'll watch longer.
Okay,
you
so
know, I mean,
that's
really
great.
the trade-off. Yeah.
So we leave that up to the publisher to determine how much they're going to give you for that video. But if there's anything else just in terms of the experience itself, would love to hear, or you can email us at Ad Colony.
I think too, with that, if there could be an option, a trade-off that is very evident there that no, we don't have to watch this at all to continue with our game. And there is, where you can shut it down. If that was more prevalent there, we would probably be much more tolerant to even longer videos for the payback in there.
Great.
It's just, we need to have that option.
Great.
When we feel like we're being forced into it, you can count on us leaving.
For sure, no, I totally agree. And I think the best publishers are the ones that make it very clear that, hey, this is just an option. They put it off to the side or even in the in-app purchase menu, so it's not even covering the game experience itself. Thank you, guys.
We totally get it, too, that you guys, we're not paying.
Right.
Somebody has to make money.
Yeah.
I mean, we get that. We get it. I try to. If I see something that catches my eye, I go buy things, you know, because I do get it, but it's just so frustrating. 'Cause it's like, how many times do we say, we get it, but then it keeps, you know, jarring you right in the face, and that's so frustrating. So those ones do go bye-bye.
I think it's the frequency, too, of it. If it's in between every game, our games are traditionally 2-minute long games. If we have to watch a 30-second clip every 2 minutes, that's what's frustrating.
Totally agree. Yeah, I think it's all about the exchange of video for virtual currency in a very kind of, you know, at your own will versus being forced on you. Thank you, guys.
Hi. Do you play any of the games that are kind of like the social conscious kind of games where you kind of play with a purpose so you feel a little less guilty about the time you spend playing? Obviously, look, I see in the faces, none of you feel guilty about playing.
No, not so much.
Any escape from reality is a good escape, probably. So yeah, no.
And drugs are still illegal, so what do we do? You know.
I don't feel guilty about any gaming I do because it doesn't take away from anything outside that. In my real life, I don't let it take away any of my time, like with my partner or with my children. It won't do that. Now, there are probably people out there that feel guilty about it, but I've set limits on myself and stayed with that.
And I think also some of you have heard part of my testimony about gaming before, in that I am a chronic pain patient, and there's never a time in my life when I'm not in pain. I take multiple pain medications throughout the entire day, and it doesn't make that go away. So when I go online or on a mobile device and I'm gaming, it can help my mind escape, so the pain isn't the prevalent thing going on with me. It's what's happening in front of me on that screen. And there's been some things are in the making being developed for people like me with that purpose in mind. So the idea of guilt in playing is real foreign to me at this point in my life.
But I do, well, let me clarify one thing though, because, a lot of the games, and I'm not sure if this is your guys' end or who does this, but when you accomplish something on Facebook, where you play a little game, and it wants to go blast it all over everybody's wall, I have work people I used to spend 20 years with in an executive environment. I don't want them seeing that I'm out there playing, whatever. And it's not that I'm embarrassed necessarily, but they don't want to see it, and they certainly are going to shut me off if they do see it. And maybe, there's a few people that I just don't want them to know I game. They don't need to know that. So it's not a guilty thing, but sometimes I don't want people to know just because those little ads go everywhere, and it makes it look like you're there 24/7. So I don't like that. Apparently they're on 27.
How important is it for you to have other people that you know to play with? So if you look at like the Ville games and things like that, and you could invite your friends, do you care? Are you happy just being able to play a game by yourself, or is it important for you to have other people to play with? And as part of that, how important it for you, if you think of leaderboards, is it for you to have your name on the top, meaning how competitive are you?
I'll play games solely to try and get myself as high as I can on the leaderboard. That's one of the goals with any game. If there's a Hall of Fame, you want to be in it. And then for the social gaming, that's a lot of my games is when I go on to like Cafe World or something. It's to be, a higher level than my friends that do it, So it's a fun way of passing the time.
I don't have a whole lot of friends who, say on Facebook, who game. So those games to me are extremely frustrating because when you have to have 3 friends send you this in order to move on, I don't have those 3 friends to send me, so those games are useless to me.
I'll teach you the ways around.
I do like the leaderboards, but it doesn't necessarily have to be people I know. I can compete against people I don't know. But I do like to have a goal, kind of a score to beat.
Well, that's why I have to admit, I like Zynga now instead of Facebook for that one reason, because on Zynga, you don't even have to know those people. You just, they just start, you just connect. So when you're just in game mode, I don't do any, there's no thought of socializing there for me anyway. Then that preserves my Facebook page for the socializing that I do with all my different, hats that I wear. And then on Zynga, I've got 10,000 best friends that send me stuff. I'm just leveling right. It's very cool. So.
And I'm probably just the opposite from all of them. I don't care where my name is on anything. I compete against myself most of all.
Hi. That was louder than I thought it would be.
Hello.
But you had talked about how constantly these social games invite you to invite your friends along. They want you to, basically everything you do inside of these games, they say, hey, tell your friend about it. 2 questions really. One, when do you feel compelled to do that? As in, what's something that in-game might actually make you want to do that? And then B,
When
if
there's
that
a
wasn't there,
reward
would
big
you
enough.
ever do it?
Yeah, if there's a reward big enough, like you get something on your, Cafe World or something like that, makes it worth it. But if it's just to say, oh, I leveled, then I don't share those.
Yeah. And I don't, there's some of my friends, my friends have told me repeatedly, well, they aren't talking about me because I've hidden that from them. They're like, God, those damn gamers, like I get 50,000 wall posts saying, I leveled, I hit something, I looked at something, I got up today, and it goes on and on and on, and then you have to scroll through miles of it to get to, hey, so-and-so had a baby. Well, everybody missed that because everybody's screen was full of the other stuff, and that makes people really angry, so.
I think also in answering your question is that the very first game that I played that made me even consider telling someone else was Gardens of Time. I had always avoided all of those simply because it looked like you needed to have all these people around. And that's what I discovered there, but I enjoyed the game so much, playing it on my own first, that I told people, in fact, I made all of our children living at home join the game so they could help send me things. And so I think, for the most part, women our age, it's more annoying than anything else. And probably our biggest complaint is stop broadcasting what we're doing.
Yeah.
We don't want it.
We'll tell people if we want them to know. You're breaking our privacy kind of thing, and that's not what we want.
Hi, ladies. When you're playing, are you playing with multiple user IDs, or have you created like game personas? Are you playing as actually who you really are in the real world, or you know have a different picture for yourself when you play online? Do you really post your name, or do you play as somebody else?
I'm just me.
I play as myself.
I have my cat as my picture. I like my cat better than I like a picture of me, you know? That's all.
Hi, I have a question about monetization, or when, if at all, are you willing to spend money in a game? And if there's an option for a social hook, meaning if you ask your friends for an object or an item, are you always going to take that route, or would you ever just quickly pay your way through?
For me, like on the social games, like Tiny Village or Cafe World or games like that, it's when my friends spend money, and then I'll have to spend the money to get the same thing they get, and then that makes it so our other friend has to do it too. So it becomes a competitive thing of if one person has it, we all want it, you know.
But also there's I mean, when you say friends, because we all think of, you know, Facebook, you friend somebody. Well, you might not even know that person. So for me, the clarification is, like on Zynga, and I'm sorry I keep going to that one, but on Zynga, I don't know any of those people, but they are my, quote, friends, if you want to use that term. And when I say, you know, if I need something in a game that I will play on Facebook, I won't go there. I'll go over to Zynga if it's a Zynga game, and then my 10,000 friends, I know every single one of them plays games, or they wouldn't be connected to me. So if there was a way on Facebook where I could, if I hit post, it only broadcast. And I know they all say, oh, there's different settings and this and that. It doesn't always work. It ends up not working correctly. Something happens. But if there was a way that it could just go to that target audience, I'd invite all of them. Because, you know, if you know the game, sure, I'd invite them for something in return. But I don't want to take the risk of broadcasting to people if I'm not sure they want to hear from me.
I was recently approached to do an interview for the New York Times about that very issue. When would you spend money on these social games that go along with the virtual currency? And I could not participate in it because I refuse to. I won't have anything to do with it. But I have a very good friend that spends well over $20 every single month doing just that. She has to have the best of everything. So I referred that way. For myself, I won't do it.
I will buy like there's a few of them, because I have a PayPal account that always has money in it that I never know what to do with. It's a few dollars. So I will buy the one-off things that are like $1 or $2 every rare once in a while, just so I can spend the money. And if I feel like it, I do it. But otherwise, I wouldn't invest a ton in it.
I always like it when they do have the, like, you know, right now it's Christmas in July on Slotomania. So you get like 50% extra chips, you know, coins. So when they do those sorts of features, that's when I'm more likely to actually spend on those sorts of games.
Just as a follow-up to that, do you tend to sort of spend money on the items that will help you in the game, or have you spent money on items that are more like vanity type of items that may not necessarily have any gameplay, but just sort of look cool in your farm or whatever?
Yeah, mostly vanity items.
Yeah, we're all different, because I just, no way, but I want stuff that's going to get me ahead.
Yeah, I will spend money if it's like an item that I need to complete a mission or whatever.
But that's why there's room for everybody. I mean, there's room for all of this stuff. You can figure out a way to manage it so that we don't make everybody mad in the process.
Hi. Do any of you do things like customize an avatar using like maybe points you've earned in a game, or customize a room or anything like that? And if so, what do you like about doing that?
Yeah, I've done it on my PS3. They have like home where you can buy features and stuff. So if people come into your house, you can see that, you know, you got a pool table or things like that. So anything that, you know, just looks modern and trendy. You know, I'm not into the cartoony look and stuff. So trendy.
Yeah, I play on a site where you can customize your avatar, you can put all kinds of funky stuff around it, and I do it to either make it look like me or for the holiday season or whatever. I think it's fun. I like to spend, that's the only way I spend the points that I've earned, and so it's fun for me to be able to spend those on something.
It is fun to have an avatar. I'd rather have an avatar than a picture. It's kind of fun to customize and personalize it.
Would you classify yourself as typical casual gamers, or would you classify yourselves more as kind of a hardcore casual gamers? And then secondly, if you could each tell us, how much time do you spend every day playing?
The real amount of time? No, I'm kidding.
Tell everybody.
I probably, if I gave you my numbers, would sound like a hardcore gamer, whatever we all think that is. I know I'm not, because, my friends are, I've seen posts from them, if they wake up in the middle of the night and they can't go back to sleep, and as you get older, this is gonna sound ridiculous, but I wake up way more often in the middle of the night than I used to, and I can't go back to sleep. So I'll get online. That's especially when I don't want those notices going out, though. But I've noticed people that are playing practically 24/7, I don't know how they get anything done. And they spend way more time than I do. And I would say I multitask, so don't think I'm not focused just doing that, but I probably spend at least 4 to 6 hours a day in some form, because I'm doing it as I'm doing other things. So, and I do a lot of work on the computer, so I've got 10 windows open, and while this is processing, I'm playing a game. So
I'd say I spend about 3 hours gaming a day.
I'd say about 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm at about 3 too.
I'm probably more 4 to 6, depending on the day and what's going on in our world. But with the mobile devices, I can do it almost anywhere. So, I can play for 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and it all adds up.
And I think most of us, because we've done this, we kind of all know each other, most of us, through this panel, and we all have kids. That time also, for me anyway, and I think it for them too, encompasses the time we spend doing this with our children, because our children are all a big part of our gaming as well, those of us that have kids. So. Mm-hmm.
Hi, I have a question about the game tutorial. As a game designer, it's very difficult to make a perfect tutorial for you. So can you tell me what is a bad tutorial for you? Because you have plenty of choice on Facebook, and what's gonna retain you on Facebook? I'm looking for what's gonna retain you on Facebook, so that's why I'm asking today, what is something bad as a tutorial?
I don't think there's a bad, because I know, like the story, right? I remember you were saying you like the story of the games. Wasn't that you?
Some of them, yes.
And I don't. I'm more like a man in that regard. God knows, don't give me any directions. I'm just going to go do it, and then I'll come back and get the tutorial. Sorry, guys, if I need to. But other people, and a lot of my women friends, they're like, God, would you go read the directions? I'm like, no. So I think it's different for everybody.
I try to skip through the tutorials on every game. I want to trial and error and learn on my own. And if the tutorial is really long, I normally skip the game in general.
I can say what's caught my attention recently is King.com, in one of their fixes of what they did, have added at the bottom of the game a very short, precise tutorial. And I found myself reading those where I've never read tutorials. I just want to try by trial and error. If I get stuck, I might go look if I'm really interested in the game. But that very short, you do this, this, and this. It caught my attention. It made me read it.
And I think I'm the opposite of probably every one of them. I go and read almost anything I can about it, and then go and play it.
And then she comes and tells us.
I actually find it really nice, though, if a game puts a video up on YouTube of someone else playing it. You can kind of watch someone else play it. You don't have to read any tutorials or anything like that. You can kind of see what their strategies are for a game.
That is something that I had thought about, too, and you just reminded me. I think if there could be a video tutorial, that would be helpful, and you would catch our attention quicker and faster than anything that's written. We don't always have that time to read, this page-long tutorial because we're spending 10 minutes online. But that maybe 60-second, 2-minute tutorial that's in a video, we would probably click and watch that.
Sorry, quick question. If you were stranded on a desert island with your computer,
Kindle Fire.
one game, which is the one game that you would have?
The one game I'd have to have on a desert island? Bejeweled.
Yeah.
Bejeweled Blitz, yeah.
Bejeweled 2 for me.
See, and I think I'd have to have like Lord of the Rings or WoW or something like that, so.
Any bubble
Keep me
game that you
interested.
can shoot bubbles at and pop big things of bubbles.
I would go probably for whatever was the longest one I was playing at that time, that had the most levels and things to go through. And like some of the Pick Your Adventure books, I don't know if you've heard of those. I would love to have where I played a level and then I got to pick which way I went next on it. I would choose something like that.
Hi. Do any of you ever use a thing where like you can earn points in a game and then use it to buy stuff? Like get coupons maybe, or gift cards, or any of that? And if so, what kind of products do you go for and all that?
Is that really, I mean, if there's people that are doing that, I probably would. But right now, the only things that I've seen that are similar to that are where it says, oh, you know, here's a list of vendors, go out and complete a couple offers and you're gonna get, oh my God. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and they never pan out. It's like, you've got to spend a whole bunch of money. I mean, it's just insane.
Or also sweepstakes and things of that nature.
Okay.
Yeah, World Winner does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten several gift cards for playing. You know, you just, if you play like over 200 games or something on a website, then they'll give you a $10 gift card to Amazon. I've done that a few times, and it does make me go to those websites.
I would do that, definitely. I mean, if there were more sites that had it, I know,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I always
World
cash
Winner.
in my World Winner one for more points.
I don't know. I cash it in for gift cards. Christmas time.
Yeah. We digress.
How do you discover new games and what attracts you to playing them?
A lot of times it's word of mouth, you know, from other friends that are on different, you know, gaming sites, or the sites that you already have bookmarked. I follow on Google Plus their games tags and stuff, and they put up, you know, quite a bit of information on new games from different manufacturers.
I usually find mine, my son will say, oh, I got this new game I'm trying, and then he'll get me playing it, and then he's on to the next peg, and I'm still playing it, so, yeah.
I'll usually go to, there's 4 different downloadable sites that I go to, and I'm a member at Shockwave, so Tuesday is usually the day I go and check and see what comes out. And I win and Big Fish, they post daily, so, you know, just to go see what's coming out as far as the downloadables go.
Hi there. I'm curious if any of you give feedback directly to the game publishers or developers through forums or Facebook or customer service or anything, and if so, how important is it for you to give your feedback and be heard?
For me, I find that extremely important and valuable for myself as well as for the game publishers. And it's like if I could be questioning you, I would be asking you, how many of you have someone like me on your team that is evaluating your games to see how they're working for the disabled, to see how they're working or how they appeal to a woman at 50 or over? It's important to us, and we're here and can and are willing to give our feedback. We're just not asked often enough. I think it would probably be valuable for everyone that's developing games to have someone like me, someone like us, that is willing to work with you and help you be even more successful.
I have given feedback before. Honestly, I've never gotten a response back. Usually through email, you know, they'll say contact us or having problems, you just click on that and a form comes up.
I can say something that you might not want to hear, but last year when I was here, we had walked up to a booth and there were some people around us that walked up as well, and the person at the booth looked at us and saw on our tags that it said panelist, and they said, oh, you're a gamer, and turned around and talked to the other person. Sometimes that's how we feel when we're trying to get help or support, and last year you guys proved it to us.
Well, that one did.
That one did.
Yeah. I do a lot of testing for a lot of different things, and my feedback usually email. I do a lot of questionnaires. If you send me one, I'll be the first one to answer you probably, because I want you to have that feedback from us, and for you to know, even within the over 40 group of women, they're a diverse group of women too, that we really like certain things and we don't like other things. So I'm willing to give my feedback anytime.
Well, I think too, as I've noticed as I've gotten older, you know, I think all of us remember the day. I remember the day the very first PC came out and it landed on my desk and it was, oh my God, what is this thing? And now the technology's changed so much, but most people our age, and I used to develop software, so I totally get it, because I know people that just, you couldn't get them to do anything right on a computer. Most of us, contrary to a lot, what at least all my children and their friends think, is that most of us have lost our touch, that we don't know technology. I've probably lost a lot of what I used to know, but we are, I think, pretty much, women our age are very savvy when it comes to technology. We might not call it the right thing, and it may be, you know, all that, but we do give, our feedback is based on an actual knowledge of the hardware and how it interacts with the games, and we don't know everything by any means, but you could be assured, if you're considering, you know, using some of us older people's feedback more readily, we do know in a lot of cases what we're talking about, and so the feedback isn't just, I know there's a lot of people out there, the haters, that, oh, I wanted to do this, that, and the other thing, and they don't get it, that you could never program it to do that. So people like us, though, do know, so, you know, just know that and be more willing to take the feedback would be great in some cases.
Cool. So, oh, sorry. Was there another question?
How do we best engage women like yourselves to give us the feedback or get you on board to give feedback? So where do we find wonderful people like yourself?
Most people respond to rewards. So if you have a game and you want to offer some sort of, like, you get an extra 5 coins in your game or whatever your product is that they do, most people will give you feedback based off of, you know, completing a survey then or something like that, or filling out stuff if they think that they might actually get something out of it.
King just, I've been on the panel for several years, but King just ran a little advertisement in the game that said, you know, we're looking for this, and it was just kind of on one of the forums, I think it was, and there was a ton of people that responded to that. It was just huge. So just something placed in a conspicuous community page, you know, community site within the game itself or something.
I think my answer to that would be, I'm sitting here right now and I'm willing to have a discussion.
Yeah.
She's ready.
Cool. So I think I've gotten the wrap-up sign. So I think just as sort of the final question, what would you like to see in terms of the future of the games industry? What can we, as the game creators and publishers, do to enhance your game experience? Are there new genres or existing genres that you'd like to see more of? How would you like to see the industry change?
More linking between your PC games, your mobile games, and your tablet games. So that way they keep all the same scores and stuff like that.
Synchronization.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you guys, I mean, cross-platform sort of
Yeah.
synchronization is...
It'd be nice to have it wherever I went, or what I played on, I would still be at the same level, or at the same, I'd still have the same points that I had. That would be nice.
Cool. So please give a round of applause for our panelists. Thank you so much.